Okay, so ಈ while loop ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, so it will check until that I is less than 6. So when it is equal or it is greater than I is greater than 6, so it will skip this loop and it will continue to the next line to execute the code. ಓಕೆನಾ. ಸೊ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಟ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಇಫ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ವೆನ್ I is double equals to 3, so that time I want to break it. So break means it will completely skip this loop. So we'll do the debug first. So it is coming for the first iteration. So first iteration, this condition will not match. So again, it will go to the while loop. So when it is 3, when I is equal to 3, so that time it will match the if condition. So now I is double equals to 3. So now it came inside and it will execute the break statement. So when the break happens, when we use the break, so it completely skip the loop statement. So before it was printing till I is less than 6. So it was printing till 6, till the value of 6, it was printing. So now I just put the condition if I is double equals to 3, so then you just break it. So break means it will completely break the loop. So like this break will work. So how the continue will work? So for this continue, I just want to print the print statement after this if condition. So what it happens when we use the continue keyword? So when the condition is true, when it execute the continue keyword, so it will not execute the below code. It will just directly go to the next iteration. So whatever we have written the code in after this continue, so it will not execute. So it just directly go to the next iteration. So now we'll test it. So according to this, what will happen if when I is equal to 3, so it will not print the I value, only when I equals to 3. So it means that it should not print the 3. So except other values, it should print other values. So we'll just see. So now it is printing 1. Now it is 3. So now it is just continue. But still I value is 3. So it will still continue. So it is not exiting the loop. So how can we do? Why it is not exiting the loop and how can we exit the loop? Anybody can tell the logic?
By using break statements.
Where?
Break statements.
No, I am just asking. So now I just using the continue keyword. So that's why it is going to the next iteration. So but still I value is 3 only. So that's why it's just keep continue. So now if I want to complete all iteration till 6 and it should exit the loop. So for that, what I have to do? How can I do that? So whatever the code, if I make the changes, so it should properly work. So it should not like this. It's just even if you run it, so it will be keep running here itself. So it's not printing anything, but it's still simply executing there only. So now it is showing the error because still it's stuck here. So it's still keep continuing. So because we are incrementing the value when I is equal to I plus 1. So after this print statement, means after this continue statement. So when the I equals to 3, so it just continue to the next iteration, but I value will not change. So if I value will not change, always I will be 3. I is double equals to 3. So if we want to make an increment, so what the changes we can do in this code? Can anybody think and answer? So these are all very simple logic. So which we should think. So I just put the increment at the beginning itself. So now we'll check the code by debugging the code. Now I is equal to 1. So as I mentioned, so I am just incrementing at the beginning itself. So it is incremented to 2. So it start printing from 2. So now the I value is 3. So it is equal to 3. So now it will not print the I value. So because we are using continue, so it go to the next iteration. So now it increment from I to from 3 to 4. So because I am doing the increment here, so now the condition will not be true. So again it will go to the next state. So the I value is increasing, so it will continue till 6. So when it is equal to 6, it just skip the loop. So now it is not printing the value 3. So it is printing only 2, 4, 5, 6. Because I am just put the condition, if I is double equals to 3, you just continue to the loop iterations. So now if I want to print from 1 to 6, so what I can make the changes in the code? No idea? So anyway, it is incrementing here. First only it is incrementing. So instead of making 1, if I make it 0, so first it will increment from 0 to 1. So then it will print the value 1. So now if you see the output 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. So 3 is not printing. So these are all very simple logics. So you have to practice these kind of logics. Otherwise, it is very difficult to develop any software. Okay. So next we'll go for the for loop. So for loop we have already seen in the other program, other concepts like in iteration of list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries. So in all these 4 concepts, we have seen how we can use the for loop. That same thing as we explained here. So it's not necessary to run it again. So when we want to make it in a index value, so here also the continue and break statement works same as it is how I explained in the while loop. So in the loop, if you want to make a range, like for example, if I want to start from 0 to 6, so I can start the range I can put the loop like this. So here I is not required. So it is starting from 0 to 5. So when it will be the 6, it will go out of range. So 6 values means, so it will start from 0 to 5 will be the total value, total length is 6. When we want to specify from the starting number, so we can specify the range from starting to end. For example, if we want to take the numbers from 2 to 30. So then it will start from 2 and it will end till 29. That is starting from 2. So if you want to start from 12, so it will start the iteration from 12 to 30. So each time I get the range value. In each iteration, I get the range value in the X. So what happens when we use the L statement for the for loop? So even if you can't use the L statement for the looping statement in any other programming languages, only in Python, we can use the L statement. So when we use the L statements, so when all the condition is completed, so that time it will execute the L statement. So just let's check with that our present example. So it is printing finally finished. So after executing complete for loop, so it is directly printing finally finished. So if this goes out of range, or else if this condition falls at the beginning itself, it will print only else statement. So nested loop means, so inside the loop, one more loop we can use it. So for example, in this loop, I will use one more range y in range of 10. Print x. So I just print both the values x and y. So this is a very long output. So because it is iterating from, so when it comes inside, so this loop will start from 12 to 30. Okay, so that means that 18 counts, 18 iteration will happen. So in each iteration, it will run 10 times. So 10 into 18. So 180 items. 180 times it will repeat here itself. So any doubt in the nested loop? I think already people have been used in any other programming languages. So one loop inside another loop we can use like this. So depend upon the requirement or the problem we have to solve by using the loop statement. So if we want to use a pass, so if there is any exception, it will not throw. So it will just pass. So pass already we have tested in the if else statement. So the same thing will happen in the else. Any doubts in the loops? So now we'll see the Python functions. So to create a function, we have to use the keyword def, def. So after the def keyword, we should use one space and we have to give the method name. So this is completely user defined name. So we should not start from number or any special character. It should be in alphabet. And in the middle, we can use any number or special characters. But at the beginning, we can't use the number or special characters. So like that, we can define any of the name. So which is for our convenience, we can give any name. So there is no issue in this. So, but when we are using the keyword, so we should use exactly the same. So now whatever the code I have written here, so all this code I just keep it in a one method. So first I have to use def loop check. So just I'm giving the method name like this. So and here we should use the one space indentation. So when we want to do the indentation for all the code, so we should select all the code like this when there is a multiple lines of code instead of making a one tab space. So we just go to edit and give the indent selection. So that time it will give the indent selection space for this function. So this function includes these many lines inside the function, these many lines. So this is also included. So if I want to make it as the outside of that method, so I just remove the tab space. So now if I want to call this method, so now if I execute, the method will not run. So it's just printing this line code. So after that, I am just calling the method loop check. So to call the method, we should use the method name and open and close brackets. So now it is executing that code, complete code. So because this is calling the method. And now with arguments. So arguments means, so parameters, what are the parameters we pass to the method? So for example, if I want to check the range from for some particular value. So for that, I will just take it as a variable A. Okay, so here if I pass the value 2, it will start from 2 to 30. So let's remove it. Now I am just using only one loop. So it will print till 10. So A value I have to mention. So here what I will do, so I have to pass the value A. So for example, I want to start from 3 now. So if I execute, so it will print from 3 to 9. So if I want to start from 5, so from 5 to 9. So like this, we can use pass the parameters and that parameters can be used within this method. So for these parameters, we can also call it as a arguments. Okay, so we can pass in multiple arguments or a parameters. So also we can use this star args. So this star arguments, it will take a multiple arguments in the single variable itself. So that we'll see in the next class. Also, we can use the star quarks. Arcs and quarks are the one of the future for the parameters. So that we'll see in the next class. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, we'll connect tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.